The other day, we did our first live stream, and it did an amazing job at failing. It lasted for about 5 minutes before crashing. But then we tried it again, and it was successful. And I was a bit nervous. There was a lot to manage, and it was my first live stream, but I was able to answer many of your questions. So for y'all who couldn't make it to the live stream, I decided to cut it down into a clean, concise video for you. Many of the people at the live stream loved it, and I hope you do too. And with that, we're off to the first question. That question is just stuck on the screen. Can men get pregnant? I really am gonna have to think about this one. I think the answer is no. Why the 777? Well, there are 2 points to that. One is there are other channels named Remnant. I needed to stand out in some sort of way. There's even a video game called Remnant. There's like Remnant 1 and 2. 777 allowed me to be different, but also it's symbolic and everything. Yeah, 777 is also like opposite of the 666. Are you pro-life? If so, then why? Yeah, I'm pro-life. My parents are much more pro-life than me. I am pro-life. I think that we should value that human life, and also that people shouldn't be using that as to avoid responsibility. I think that's a big problem we have. I think maybe in one instance, the real excusable instance would be like, hey, did somebody your daughter? Like if I had a daughter, she was really good. She wasn't promiscuous. She listened to the things I said. She didn't sleep around. It wasn't her fault. And she had a child from it. That's horrible. Ultimately, that's really ruining her life. She has to be pregnant. People are going to think horrible things about her, and it's going to hurt her chances of getting a good guy. If we're in this Christian society, people have responsibility. I think in that instance, you could make an argument. People will disagree with me on that. That is the one excusable instance of abortion. Everything else, like you can, you probably should give up the child. You know, have the child and give it up to a loving family that needs it. There are plenty of people who want to have children and they can't. What inspired you to start this channel? Actually, so that's, the thing behind that was I was really into personality stuff, like MBTI. I was big on that. That's what really got me into personality or psychology, these personality tests. Then I really looked into it and I found out, oh, it's just a bunch of bullshit. Big Five, for example, is much more reliable. That's what people actually use. The people who created MBTI, they don't even believe it in it themselves. They don't conduct tests with it. I was really big on that. And that was my first video, why MBTI is garbage. Because I kept on repeating the same exact information to people over and over. And I was like, why don't I just make a video and link people that video? Yeah, that's what inspired the channel. What are your thoughts on... Favorite femboy Nick Flynn says, I think he's really funny. I do like him a lot. I do agree with many of the things he says. Not everything, of course not. I'm not even Catholic. But yeah, I do agree with a lot of the things he says. Hot take? Yeah, people are gonna really hate me for saying that, but I just like to be honest with y'all. I think he does more good than harm. People are probably gonna clip that and always use that against me. Oh, he's a groiper. I'm not a groiper, by the way. That's one thing I will stand on. I'm not a groiper because it's not even whether you agree or disagree with Nick. I don't disagree with a lot of the things they say, but I'm totally against harassing people online. I'm not a fan of it. What's my religion? I'm Christian. I admit that I'm relatively ignorant and stupid when it comes to Christianity. Actually, I was raised Protestant. I thought I knew everything. Oh, the horrible Greek Orthodox. Greek Orthodox, those are just Catholics at the end of the day. You know, I didn't know anything about it, but then I became genuinely curious. I thought to myself, it's important to understand other people's ideologies, where they're coming from. Why not within Christianity, if I believe God's the way, the truth, the life, and I really want to seek him out and understand what's going on, I should sincerely try to understand the other denominations from themselves. I am very much open to Eastern Orthodox as of late. I'm not a catechumen or whatever they call it. I just really started looking into it, so I can't say anything about it. My experience with them and their worship has been really good. I'm extremely happy with that. I don't like Protestant worship. It's horrible. What drives you to make videos? For me, I genuinely love it. Thoughts on... I really don't care. I don't care as in what's going on the other side of the world. I'm not a Palestinian. I'm not a Muslim. Why do I really care what's going over there? I'm an American. I'm American white Christian. What's going on over there? My main concern is just, hey, how much money are we giving them? I think we should give that money to better things. That's my opinion. But here's the thing with it all. When it comes to the conflicts around the world, I don't pay attention to it as much because I genuinely don't have a strong interest in these things. If I want to have a good, sophisticated, well-grounded opinion on all of these wars that are happening right now, that requires so much research to back these things up. Disagree with Destiny, for example, all you want. Even though people like to make fun of him and say, Destiny, he just does all of his research on Wikipedia. Look, he at least tries to read and become literate on these things to substantiate his arguments. I don't like it when people are, how do I put it, extremely opinionated on topics they do very little research in. I'm not opinionated on Palestine or the Russia and Ukraine because I'm an American. I don't look into those things or have an interest. I love trying to understand people. People is my favorite topic. Upcoming content options. I've been wanting to do this for so long. Everybody throws around the word grifter so loosely to describe just people they dislike. Grifter is a valuable, good, accurate term used to describe certain types of people, but it's become a buzzword to simply throw at the people you disagree with or don't like or you have beef with. That is not good. That's not healthy. You're accusing people that you just disagree with of being liars. I'm going to accuse TMM of being a liar because I can substantiate it. You should make a video with Tom Foe. Here's the thing, I don't watch a lot of his content. I've seen some of his stuff. I think he's generally just a really good guy all around. We've talked and everything. Yeah, he's growing pretty fast as well. I wasn't that size when my channel was his age. He's doing really good for himself. We'll see where he goes from there. Wish him the best though. What do you think about Christian? Oy vey. You mean Christian Americanism? Christians aren't like that around the world. It's strictly an American thing. It's a very contemporary view that people have with, I'm an American. I care about American problems, American people. I don't care what's going on across the world. That's horrible. But here's the problem. A lot of it is a fucking grift. I'm going to tell you that right now. Why do you think so many people are talking about Palestine, Ukraine, and Russia? Why? Because it's trending. People have asked me to talk about those things. I don't. I genuinely am not interested in it, and I'm ignorant. But guess what? I would make quite a bit of money for talking about that trending topic. That would get views. Why would I do that, though? It would be wrong for somebody who is as ignorant as me, who doesn't care about it, just to talk about it because it's trending. What a piece of shit I would be. What? Also, if you want to make the argument that it's important to talk about this because it's horrible and evil what's happening to them in Palestine, okay, you can make that argument, but why don't you talk about all the other horrific evils around the world then? There are tons of them all over the world. I've genuinely taken the time to look into other things currently happening all across Africa. People are being all over the place. Christians as well. Why aren't we talking about that? I do genuinely believe that's why a lot of people are talking about it. It's not because of how exceptionally evil it is. It's because it's trending over what's happening in other parts of Africa. That's disgusting in my opinion. You don't really care. What would be the grifting by definition? I'm glad you asked that. I have written it out. I've gone into autistic levels of detail and I want to make a video about that. That's the next one. Bro, I got a fun thumbnail idea. It's gonna be like, no, I'm not human. And it's gonna have somebody like Tate. Tate's a grifter. I don't like Tate. I really dislike that guy. How did you set up the whole puppet avatar for the stream? And what are your thoughts on libertarianism? I love your videos, and here's to many more. Thank you so much for the $5. This was a challenge. This took me so long. So I try to use OBS, where I would click a button and it would show these different frames. All of these frames being myself. All of this just, I took pictures of myself, edited, removed the background, did tons of things with that. I wanted it to play those frames like an animation. It was so laggy and horrible, it constantly glitched on me. It was flaking all over the place. So what I did was, there's this person in my server, Edgy, thank you so much for designing it. He makes games, he's an artist, he does all of this stuff. I went up to him, I was like, hey, could you make a program that when I press a button, it does a movement like a thumbs up or a thumbs down or thank you so much. Oh, I haven't been using this. Thank you guys so much for the donations, by the way. Thank you for real. I ran all of this stuff by him and he was like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, no problem. Seems simple. He was able to create it. He did it out of the kindness of his heart. Thank you so much, man. Based if true. Hey, it's good to see you, man. I'm so sorry for being late with all these things. I keep apologizing. Did you see the latest ice I see. In Minnesota. Already got a great video on it. Have a great stream. Good night. Thank you so much, Base of Truth, for the $5. Are you talking about like the woman and everything, the lesbian? I don't know. Is there anything? Did it just happen? No, there's another one. Wow, I have no idea. I didn't even pay attention. I'm sorry. I'm just a guy in a cave. Literally, this is me in real life, by the way. I'm just here in this cave, isolated, just making and editing videos, isolated from the outside world. I don't know what's going on out there. What a tragedy. I guess, yeah. I don't know the context, but it's horrible. What a shame. Honestly, the propaganda out there is insane. Remnant, are you pushing 40? I just gotta read that out loud. I'm gonna be pushing 40 in 16 years, yeah. I don't really watch people's live streams. I've watched a bit of Base of Truths, a bit of Celestiums. I've watched Jim Bob's, he's pretty good. I hardly watch anybody's live streams, so if I pop in on yours, that's like a big thing, I guess. Thoughts on Mentiswave? He's really good. I like a lot of his stuff. What's your favorite cheese? I forget the name. I actually have a favorite cheese.
Smoked Gouda.
So good at satiating my hunger. And it's just pleasant. Cheese hack right here. What I like to do with cheese is you cut it into very thin strips. You don't just cut the chunks and you eat it like that. It's too much. It's too overpowering. But if you cut it into thin slices, that's amazing. I love that. That's so great. And what I used to do, I would play with people on Discord. I would have slices of cheese, and then I would have potato chips and chocolate milk all together. That's the perfect night. Those are some of my most fond memories right there. Remnant, are you bold or IRL? No, hopefully I don't become it. I got the Norway Reaper. He's taking a toll on me, but here's the thing, I'm learning to work with what little I'm given. As the Bible verse goes, I don't remember. Oh no. If you could ask Jesus one theological question, like a question you'd ask your bro for fun, what would it be? I don't know. If I could talk to Jesus, I'd be like, hey, what denomination is correct? What's the truth with all of these things? What's the proper interpretation? These different churches are claiming authority on the matters. They sound pretty convincing, and I love those people. Like, I've interacted with... Here's the thing, I was very hostile towards people, especially the Catholics, until I actually started talking to them, listening to them. The person who really made me interested in it, hot take, was Michael Knowles. He's the Daily Wire. We don't like those people because, I don't trust people being paid off. But it was Michael Knowles and everything. And I loved one debate I saw of him on the Whatever podcast. I'm not a big guy when it comes to watching the Whatever podcast because it's very repetitive. But here's the thing. I saw him have a debate. And those are the debates I do watch on the Whatever podcast. People with like Jay Dyer versus Not So Erudite, Jim Bob, Andrew Wilson. I love watching those debates. Those are great debates, especially when it's one-on-one. Those are the fun ones I really enjoy. Michael Knowles was talking to this one person. They were just so horrendous to him. They were insulting and attacking him beyond belief. I was losing my temper just listening to it. I was flipping out, and I wasn't even on the receiving end of it. I was like, how can he be so calmly composed with it all? I respect that. God bless that man. That was my opinion. That inspired me to really change a lot of my behavior, what he was doing. God bless him to be able to tolerate that. That person in themselves made me interested in looking into Catholicism. For me, actually, Andrew Wilson got me interested in the Orthodox. He stands for really good values, in my opinion. I fully agree with the majority of what he says. Absolutely. And that really got me into an Eastern Orthodox church. I've gone a couple of times, love the people. Problem is I like to sleep in and I don't like driving far. So shame on me with my sloth, I guess. Yeah, that's what's keeping me away from it. I need to go back. But yeah, my opinion's changed on them. Trent Horn, people like to clown on him on Twitter. The Groypers really going after him. And I understand a lot of the things they're saying, but you gotta give it to Trent Horn. He's really good. I've enjoyed seeing a lot of his debates, a lot of his apologetics. He likes to explain it and say, hey, this is what the Protestants thought. What the Protestants thought right here was not what we believe. This is what we mean by it. and I value him for that. I don't have to agree with people like Trent Horn, or even agree with his lifestyle, or who he is. He adds valuable conversation and insight for me. I'm able to understand the Catholics better because of him. I am not an expert on these things at all. I'm very curious. I'm genuinely confused, and I love these people for that. You don't have to agree with somebody or like them even as a person to be like, they add valuable conversation to these things. I get a lot of heat from this, but that's what I valued Destiny before for. People are always like, oh, oh, look at him in his personal life. Oh, look what's happening with his son. Everything like that. I think, at least before he became unhinged, I valued and really liked him for that. It's a shame what has happened to him. Thank you so much, Jacob, for the $5, by the way. Sheldon for the $2. Thoughts on the dating crisis? I haven't really been into the dating as of late. When YouTube wasn't going well for me and I was really struggling, I was really trying to find a woman much more. I was actually, how do I put it? I guess you could say I was much more desperate with those types of things, but YouTube's going well. I am so thankful to everybody here, by the way. All of you who have been giving so many supportive and kind comments. I'm able to read most of them. I'm not able to respond to you guys anymore. I used to a lot. If you've been here earlier, I used to really take the time to respond to as many people as I could. I still try and read you when I can. You guys really got this channel off because if you weren't there supporting me, being very encouraging, constantly, showing up for each video, I wouldn't have gotten here. Thank you so much. And I'm genuinely can wake up every day now actually excited about doing work. Hey, I get to work on YouTube in this new project. I'm so thankful to all of you for that. Thank you so much. Genuinely. Okay, I'm gonna pour my heart out here a little bit, and I said I'm not against people opening up. I was so depressed before, working and pouring so much time and effort into something I thought maybe I'm wasting 2.5, 3 years of my life. And it's finally working out. Thank you all so much. Genuinely mean it, especially the supportive comments. All of y'all who have just been there, thank you so much. But yeah, that's why I don't even care about dating as much. I like talking to people. I like talking to women and all that stuff. It's fun. All my satisfaction, happiness literally comes from this, as corny as that sounds. I'm so happy with this. Oh, I don't need a woman right now. I'm perfectly fine with just doing my stuff. When I'm able to support a family, have kids, have a wife, have my own house, yeah, then I'm very much open to going back into it. What? How do I say shellac on? Hey Remnant, nice tie. Are you also into dress up? I don't know what you mean by dress up. I'm into cosplay, and not in a weird way. I've had here's the things I've dressed up before. I've dressed up as you can see, a guy with a knight helmet on. I also dress up with the Grim Reaper. I've done Palpatine, things like that. Those are fun. I think that's cool. I don't know if I should say this story out loud. It'd be so funny. So one time I was talking to this one woman at work, and we were talking. So what are you into? You got any hobbies? You into anything creative, the arts? I am. And she's like, oh yes, I'm into the arts too. I like to do cosplay. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I love cosplay. Because I'm thinking of what I got here. You're into cosplay? That's so cool. I love that. What type of cosplay do you do? She's like, oh, let me show you. And she took out her phone. She showed me a picture. And keep in mind, I don't really know this person. And I met her that day and everything. And she just, here's a picture of my cosplay that I do. And this is not what I think of when I say cosplay. It was literally just her naked with the bunny ears, I think it was, and covering her private parts. And that's what she thought cosplay was. I'm into cosplay too. And I'm like, this is not what I meant. And I don't want to really associate with a person that shows themselves naked to a person they just met. Thank you so much, Mr. Smurf, for $2. I see in the side, you got the cat girl. I love the cat girl. What do you guys think about the cat girl? We gotta at least have one cat girl. We're not going full weeb. Some people objected to that and everything. They're like, you're a weeb for that. We're not going full degenerate or anything like that. I just like cat girls. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But now we can have more emotes. We're just gonna have one cat girl. That's all. Oh wait, there's a comment. What is that James Lee thing? I've got to read that fast. Do you think the James Lee model reminds me? Okay, I hope I read that correctly before it disappeared into the void there. But yes, I love James Lee's work. And that's also another thing. I'm pretty sure he's left wing. He doesn't like Trump. I don't care. He's cool. He's a cool guy. I love his work. He's really funny. He's so interesting and engaging. I love that guy. He's a great guy. I love his stuff. He inspired me. Here's what I call myself. I call myself the Walmart version, the great value of James Lee. That's what I call myself. I'm a Walmart Great Value version of him. He's a great guy. I wish him the best. He's very inspirational. He's so fun. I totally agree with him about Adobe, by the way. That's why I don't use Adobe. Do you like SCP Secret Lab? I don't know what SCP Secret Lab is. I know what SCP is. I love SCP. I used to do so many of those. I used to actually read those off to my mom. Well, no, I wouldn't read them off. You know those YouTube videos? They would be like, SCP-187. I have no idea what SCP that is. This one is the Santa Claus that comes in and eats. I would show my mom that. She loved them. I loved them. They're so great. I love SCP. What are your thoughts on punitive justice versus restorative justice? I think that there needs to be some sort of justice. Like if somebody wrongs you, you need to be punished. Maybe we could go towards rehabilitating these people. Okay, you can make an argument for that. They need to be punished though. What about that person who got wronged? Somebody stole from you. Somebody killed a family member. Are you just gonna say, oh, they can get out in 5 years, 10 years if they're just a good person and they change? No. They need to be punished. What about that family that got wronged? They're not gonna have peace. This is how you get vigilantes. You can try and design a system that helps with rehabilitation. I understand that. I get that. There needs to be justice, though, for the people who are wronged. That's what I think. What are your thoughts on Emperor Napoleon? I think he's kind of cool. That's it. Whether you agree or disagree with somebody or not, if you're a person who's able to have those types of achievements in life, I think that warrants some level of respect. Like Genghis Khan, he's really cool. Did he do heinous, evil shit? Yes. But how many people can be Genghis Khan? I think we need to respect and admire power. Here's the thing, as I think it was Aristotle that said it before you can talk about what a good man is, you should first be a man. I think that's what we should have. And I think you should respect the power. I'm tired of people I look at that are actually weak and pathetic that I don't respect, telling me what a good and bad man is. Look at Andrew Tate, for example. People who criticized him and called him out, they made valid points. Those valid points fell on deaf ears because they weren't respectable people. Why would I listen to a weird, neurotic, left-wing woman with dyed hair who has problems, who does all these antidepressants, telling me how Andrew Tate is so evil and bad? Why would I do that? Are you a strong individual yourself? Are you somebody I can look up to and respect? If you're going to take away this role model for men, which was Andrew Tate, I'm not saying he's a good role model. You're going to take that away. You have to replace it with something better. You have to replace it with something that is powerful. Who is a strong man that people are going to look up to? If it's not going to be Andrew Tate, it's got to be somebody else. And I'm not even saying Andrew Tate is that strong. Immature people will mistake arrogance and this bravado for real power, for real strength. That's what happened. If you're this weird person that's not respectable and that we can't look up to or like, why would I listen to you? You could be right. You could be telling me the truth. I'm not gonna listen to you though. Consider the source. Be a good source yourself. Source has to come from a good person. So are you a theist? Yep, I am. In order to be Christian, you gotta believe in a God, right? Hey, this is a post edit, and looking back at the footage, I wasn't able to give a proper response because YouTube really ties my hands with these types of things. If you speak out against any of this content, they still flag you and give you a strike. I got a strike for trying to expose this content earlier. For those who remember that video that got taken off. Now for the question I'm addressing, there was a comment. Love the content. How can you support VTubers as a godly man? They prey on weak, lonely men, put on fake personalities, and act corny. Especially the very small types of people. I can't say the word because YouTube might get me flagged here. This is a valid point, I fully acknowledge that. My opinion though is, I don't think any character should be inappropriate like that, regardless of what they look like. None of the characters should be inappropriate. And it's sad because there are plenty of VTubers I find really fun and enjoyable that are pretty inappropriate. But there are a lot of other VTubers I don't think are inappropriate at all. I think we run into a problem though when you have these characters, they look smaller, maybe they even look like a chibi character. I think that can be perfectly acceptable in itself. There are plenty of people who love those wholesome little characters. Kind of like the little Neo arc. I think that's fun and adorable. The problem is when they're depicted inappropriately. That is heinous. As for the fake personalities, I don't really know about that as much because I think VTubers might be more fun in general because they can act much more unhinged and not worry about being doxxed. If you hide behind a mask, you have a lot more freedom. So I think that gives them a lot more personality. It makes them much more enjoyable in my opinion. So yeah, that's my answer to the question. Are you a creationist? I was raised Christian in a family that was much more creationist. They think that the earth is 6,000 years old. Then my opinion changed on it, and I was much more like, hey, God could use evolution for his purpose as a tool. Evolution in itself doesn't disprove Christianity. It's just saying this is how the world was made. It's not a metaphysical question. It doesn't have anything to do with God. But I was watching a YouTuber. You guys should check him out, by the way. He was in the chat earlier. Jim Bob. He makes some really good videos debating evolution, debating these atheists. He does a really good job with it. He's very knowledgeable about these things. I love and respect that. And here's the thing. Again, I'm genuinely a confused individual. When it comes to the creationism, evolution, I don't look into these things. And that's why I don't talk about evolution or the Bible or religion. I don't know. I love listening to these people, hearing their arguments, hearing good, strong arguments from both sides. You can make up your mind with all of that stuff. Am I a nerd that looks into all of the science relating to evolution or any of this stuff? No, I don't. So why would I make a video or post my opinion on that? Mentiswave, I've actually one time reached out to him. He's just not online. Did you know that Mentiswave is a married man with a real life? What a shame. I can't believe he's not chronically online, just like me. What a loser. Shame on him. You ignore my messages because you have a wife? What? Don't you know your priorities are to respond to random people online? Are you Remnant 777 because you're lucky? I'm Remnant 777 because it stands for God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, because 7 plus 7 plus 7 equals 21 and 2 plus 1 equals 3. I spurged out right there. Will you ever try and collab with Leaflit? I would love to. I really enjoy her content. She's really fun. I just like half the time I'm just editing and working on stuff, maybe getting images, writing a script or whatever. And I just put these people on the side. Hey, Leaflit made a new little reaction video. Oh, Smug made a new little reaction video. Time to just put that in the background while I work. Or maybe I'm doing yard work for the family, helping out around the house. Yeah, I love to put their stuff on in the background. Favorite philosopher? I'm trying to get into philosophy as of late. So here's the thing. I was watching a bit of Jim Bob. I keep shilling for him, but he's a great guy. I love him. He's gone into a bit of depth about philosophy and metaphysics. This is genuinely horrifying to me. So I don't really know much about philosophy, metaphysics, any of that stuff. But he literally was able to debunk really good atheist positions, common things you hear repeated all the time in just like 10 minutes. 10 minutes worth of philosophy from his channel. Check him out. You can't see these people the same way anymore. It's insane. And that's daunting. Who cares about, oh, I want to learn philosophy to own these debate me bros. It's horrifying if 10 minutes can really just change your entire perspective on these things. 5 Pizza Freak 5 donated 20 pounds. Thank you so much, man. I don't know. You might be a VTuber right now. Actually, I'm a clip tuber. That's the name of the software. Get it right, buddy. Favorite dinosaur? No idea. The T-Rex, I guess. I'm a basic bitch. What can I say? Are you a civic nationalist? I don't know. I feel like that term's really corny these days. They're the type of people that say, oh, it doesn't matter where you come from, or your backstory, or your culture, or who you are, anything like that. What matters is, do you identify as an American? Do you just identify as an American and you can be one of us? No, I don't believe that. I don't like that. I am very particular about who can become American. I'm just against immigration, full stop. Period. People are like, I don't want illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is bad. Legal immigration's good, though. I don't want immigration, period. All of the benefits of immigration can be done without immigrants. And much of the problems that immigrants solve were caused by people on the left. Do you ever watch Redeemed Zoomer or Jay Dyer? I used to watch more of Redeemed Zoomer. I think he's much more literate and knowledgeable about these things than me, and I think he offers a valuable perspective on that. Can I say he's really right or wrong about a lot of things? I genuinely don't know what the truth is. What type of white are you? I'm mostly a German. I'm mixed with different variants of white, but I'm white. Very white. I like to think of myself as German, because that's the most I got in me. What's your opinion on female custodies? Obviously, it's no girls allowed. What are you talking about? Haven't you watched Space King, bruh? Thank you so much, Cybotonic YouTube, for $2. Thoughts on libertarianism? It kind of goes back to that question about the monarchy. I don't really have a strong opinion or stance on these things. I think what's most important is not simply, hey, are we living in a libertarian society? Is there tons of free trade happening right now? What's most important is the Christian culture. If we have a good Christian people in a Christian culture, I think a lot of these problems will solve themselves out. I view that as much more secondary. Let's say you compare me to Mentiswave. Mentiswave focuses on these things a lot more than me. He's read up on a lot more books on economics than I have. He's also a lot older and more experienced than me. I don't have a strong opinion on that. I think he makes valid points. Do I agree with Mentiswave on everything with that? I don't. I'm a bit mixed on that type of stuff. I very much enjoy free trade. I like free trade, but there's a lot of abuse happening. Like, for example, freedom of speech, free trade is used to defend porn. Do we really want to defend porn? No, absolutely not. So obviously there are going to be some limitations. Yo, favorite color by chance? Obviously it's going to be black. I've always been edgy since day one, boys. I remember one time, it was my birthday. I was a mere boy. And my parents were like, what color balloons do you want? Do you want the multicolor? Or do you want just red? Or do you just want blue? And I was like, I want black. Give me the black balloons. And they're like, no, you can't do that. Remnants, you can't do that. We're not going to a morgue. Do I have any Warhammer minis? I have to post this. I have a Corn Berserker Joy Toy. Now that sounds very inappropriate and weird out of context, but a Joy Toy is like an action figure. One of my favorites is the Thousand Suns, but I don't do Warhammer minis. That's what I'm talking about. This character's like in my hand and everything. He's got posable joints. He's got a weapon. He's got an axe. He's a Corn Berserker. This might not be good of me or right of me, but I really liked the Corn Berserkers because I just get so fucking pissed off at times. But I love being pissed at people and just letting it all out on them. It's so fun. What's your favorite political commentator? My favorite political commentator would have to be much more Andrew Wilson. As for like apologetics and debating religion, it would have to be Jim Bob. He's really good. He's fucking underrated. It's a shame. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, those are like my two favorite ones. Yeah. Favorite novel? Shoot, I did have that in mind. This is very cringe of me, but I must be honest. One of my favorite writings was a creepypasta audiobook by this guy called Vidith. He probably would hate me. It was the Deep Blue Sea or something like that. So the story of that goes, it's a very short story, but so well written. They're on this plane and it crashes. They're stranded in the middle of the ocean. They're on this little life raft and they're going insane. And it's just so well written and I really like it. It keeps you on edge. And all of it's from the story of a bottle found in the middle of the ocean. It's so enjoyable. Funny story. So it was me and my mom listening to that story together. She's like, you want to help me do a puzzle? I was like, sure. You want to listen to a book though, or some music? Oh, let's put on a book. She put on her stuff. I didn't enjoy it. I was like, let me put on something I like. Let me put on a story about cannibalism. What? That sounds so bizarre. Why would you want that? Why would you want a story on cannibalism? That's so horrible. She listens to all of it. Very traditional Christian mom, like, you know, a soccer mom. And at the end of it, she's like, I loved it. Do you have any more cannibal stories just like that? So yeah, it's fun. Favorite music artist? I don't have, maybe Coot, his name is. He makes funk. I like edgy funk. Kute. I really like his stuff. Do you watch anime? Of course. Not the weird anime though, but I used to watch so much anime when I was younger. Fun fact. People are like, you're copying Armored Skeptic. I didn't even know who that was. He was doing YouTube before I even touched the computer. Do you think I'm copying him? I didn't know who he was. He's an anti-theist as well. What inspired my outfit is literally an anime. So Dorohedoro, it's kind of like a satanic anime if I'm being honest, but it's so cool and fun. I really like it. So there are these characters that have suits, outfits on, and then they have these cool masks. I'm thinking about, what can I do for a mascot? That would be pretty cool. I really like and respect suits. I look up to and I respect businessmen, salesmen, and then you have this mask which can represent something else entirely different. Like, you have a knight helmet that represents tradition, Christianity. Yeah, I love that. And that's the end of this video. Thank you so much to everybody who decided to donate that day with the super chats and become members of the channel. And a special thank you as always to the people who support me on Patreon. You all make me feel truly blessed. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good one.